Hey, it's the Love Guru from loveguru.net. Today I'm talking about how do you steer clear of dark energy. And again, this is related to the last video of I never thought I'd be talking about dark energy or entities. And this is just sort of what is coming up in my awareness these days of recognizing the spaces that I used to traverse in, okay? And recognizing how to step out of those realities. So if you are, okay, so let's go back to this and before I share a story, okay? So my star brother Zeke has come back into my life, and he's a high vibrational reptilian alien from Sirius. And with him being back in my life, there's been a lot of awarenesses coming to me and downloads as far as this happened because of this, this happened because of this, this happened because of this. Because what's going on is that I am fully aware that I'm in a place in my life where I have looped around to this timeline. This is now the third time that I am at this place in my timeline, because that's how our life goes. It goes in spirals, and we learn lessons. We act differently when we come around the spiral the next time and we transcend to the higher place, or we don't and we go around the experience again. And the two times I was in, well, it's a more complicated story, so we're going to sidestep that. But Zeke has just been sharing with me, just kind of congratulating and acknowledging, and then also sharing more information with me of hey, you're at this place where you're stepping into the life of your dreams. Now let's review how you got here. Okay? Let's bring awareness to the different directions you can go. Because I could always choose, we always have free will, I could always choose to not step into my dreams. I can choose to go another direction. And at every moment, you have a choice. Do you want to step into the higher realms of your timelines? So at any moment, you can go this way or you can go that way, and you can have totally different experiences. Most of us don't realize on how we can transcend timelines. So that's what I want to talk about here, is because the idea is that you want to be steering clear of this dark energy. Now, first off, what is dark energy? It's not, to answer that question, it's not something outside of you. It starts really from, well, I think it maybe ends up being outside of you, but it starts from within you. The dark energy starts from within you. It's the emotions, the negative emotions, and the negative thoughts, and the unprocessed stuff, gunk that you have within you that has not been healed. So, for example, if you're living in a place that you don't want to be living, and you have all this frustration building up, and this anger, and this sadness, and this helplessness, and this fear, maybe if you fear you're going to be kicked out, fear that you're going to be homeless, maybe there's fears that you're going to run out of money. So this is just generally anywhere in life. If you're in a relationship and you're very confused in your relationship and you're not sure what to do, should you stay, should you go, and you go in these loops in your mind of this is the good points about him or her, this is the bad points, these are the pros, these are the cons. If I leave, this will happen. Oh no, I don't have money to support myself. I can't leave him. Or, oh no, I can't leave her because then maybe I'll be alone. Maybe I won't find anybody else. Maybe this is the best that can get. All of that stuff that I just shared with you, that I demonstrated for you, that's conjuring up dark energy. let that sink in for a minute, because that is what has been going on for me, just at a deeper level. Again, I'm still dissecting the layers of information that are coming through for me, but when you go into those fearful places, that is dark energy. So the idea is that this dark energy is not out there. It's not something that randomly happens to people. It starts from within you. So if you're having fights with a spouse or your parents or your kids or your neighbors or your boss, that's all dark energy within you. It's triggered by them, and then you have to go within and to be healing that stuff, or to be working with someone to heal that stuff. And when you're processing through these lower emotions, these parts of your false self, because that's not the true you. So the false self is tangled up in these anxiety, anger, sadness, loneliness, fear, rage. Again, they want me to repeat, it's not from that family member you're fighting with. It's not caused by them. They're not the ones, it's going to come across as harsh. For the sake of this video, they're not the ones with the dark energy. Yes, they may have it, but they want you to understand, for the sake of this video, for this step, because I'm going to keep making videos about this stuff, apparently. This is my teachings now. This is my awareness now that I'm sharing with you. It's your dark energy. It's your dark energy. And that's what needs to be healed and cleared, so that you clear the triggers there, so that you're not even able to be triggered by another person's dark energy. Because most people, if not all, in our society, unless they're conscious, unless they've been healing themselves, have dark energy. Can you believe that? I'm like even thinking about that. Most people, if not all people in our society, have dark energy? Yeah. Yes. Yes. So if you're feeling like being alone a lot, then that's okay. Because you probably, on a soul level, don't want to be exposed to other people's issues. Because maybe like me, you're an empath and it's easy for you to pick up other people's emotions and fears. So as long as you're working, not to just hang out by yourself and do nothing, but as long as you're like working on healing yourself, a lot of times when we're working on healing ourselves, we want to cocoon ourselves. It just naturally happens. We become kind of isolated. And that is from the beautiful design of our soul, of our spirit doing that. So that when we are healing ourselves and processing stuff, which naturally when you're processing stuff, you're kind of digging in that shit, you're digging in that shit of dark energy. So your soul, your higher consciousness of your spirit is protecting you from being around other people with dark energy, so it's not magnifying. And that you're just in that process, you're in that cocoon of healing yourself. And again, when you're processing, all that dark stuff is coming out so that it transmutes and then it clears. This is awesome information. It's been on my mind. I've been in the process of creating a retreat, or I should say retreats. I'm going to start hosting. And it's really changing the way I am going to be doing my teachings in person. How I will be conducting these like workshops and these retreats, now that I am realizing on how this dark energy works. So this is not something to be afraid of. Okay, a lot of times there's, this energy out there. So there's this thought process out there that dark energy is so scary. And notice that when you think that, or if you think that, and when you think that, you are giving it power over you. You are enveloping that fear, and then you are giving dark energy power. You're feeding the dark energy, which is making it larger, and then that is giving it power to consume you. That is not the purpose of dark energy. The purpose, the way that you can use dark energy is to empower you, to transmute it into the light. So never give dark energy that power over you, although at times it can get scary, because what happens is you keep feeding it with those lower emotions that you're carrying, and then it grows. And that is what I've been having the experience with Zeke, that he has been showing me of like, hey, you know that other experience you had, because I'm doing this review of the past, since like 2012, no, 2010, the last 9 years of my life. I'm basically doing this very soft review of it. I'm not in like hardcore analysis that I'm like writing down the story of my life. I already have done that. That is books of mine to be released. This is just a soft review that I am getting awarenesses and downloads about as the days go on, of look how far you have come, and look at what was going on in your emotional state that was feeding this dark energy, and then look how things turned out, and also look how things grew, and look how you ended up on this timeline rather than that timeline. Not in a judgment of it, but again, to help propel me into this dream life that I am stepping into taking flight, because I have been, even though I'm at this period of my life that my dreams are coming true, and I am stepping more and more into this space of trusting and of, again, flying, taking flight, there has been this under rumbling of fear happening, of being a little bit afraid of being in the unknown, and really releasing control and releasing ego more and more. That's why with this video, I'm just making this video. Because when I go into the mind, and even if it's like a little bit sloppy, because again, I'm still downloading information, it's been happening for I've been in this sort of activation for the last, I think it's been 2 weeks now. It's actually, they're telling me it's actually a month. So it's been the month of June that I have been in this initiation of this new way, and these activations that just keep coming through. So the tendency will be to think about it a little bit. I thought I was talking about this other stuff. This is bringing me back to teachings I was doing years ago, or somewhat related. Why am I back here? Is this what I want to talk about? Do you really want to talk about dark energy? Do you want to talk about dark entities? I don't think so. I don't know. It's like, I don't know, I won't make that video. And it's like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I don't know where it leads. I don't know what the purpose of it is. I'm just putting out the information to help you. to see what it activates within you, because we all have pieces of the puzzle for one another. So I'm sharing it with you. And they want me to share this example of one of the things that has been in my awareness of one of the places where I was conjuring up this dark energy in my life. I have two very specific examples. Actually, more are coming in as I'm speaking. But one was when I was in the relationship with my twin flame. It's the guy who I ended up marrying for a very brief amount of time. I had that experience with him. That we'll say is the first experience. Granted, there have been more, but this was the significant one that sticks out to me in this soft review that I've been doing with my star brother, Zeke. And the other portion of it is what happened after that, a couple years after that, when I was guided to reconnect with my parents, which I have been on and off estranged with, my family, and mostly my parents. I don't speak to anyone in my family, well, except for my grandmother once in a blue. I haven't seen her in many, many years, which I would like to see her again. And my parents, I have been on and off estranged from for quite some time. That's been since around 2011, 2012. And I was guided back to move back up north, and then I was moving back in with them while I was figuring out where I was going to go. And what dawned on me later, years later, after that experience, was that, hey, I was brought back there to heal family karma and to clear those triggers within myself so I can be in the space where I am now, fully stepping into my power, or fully in my power. I'm still sorting out areas of my life that I'm not in my power, but the big chunk that needed to be taken care of was cleared out through my experiences with them and my twin flame. So that's what was just being chimed in, and him also. It was both, all of the souls. So they want me to go back and talk about the dark energy that I experienced with him. Now, when you're in a relationship with a soulmate, with a twin flame, whoever, it is sometimes, or most likely, going to bring up the dark side of you if you have not done your healing work. And even if you have, it's still going to be triggering to you that your partner's doing this or that. The idea is to heal that stuff as it comes up. I'll give myself a little plug if you want help with that. You know who to call. So, can help you with that. So when I was in that relationship, I went through periods that I was very, very, very lost and confused. And I was constantly unsure, should I stay? Should I go? How can I fix this? It was a lot of questions. How can I fix this? Why am I so unhappy? Why do we have such amazing days together and then days that are absolutely hellish? How does it flip so much like that? And I was just constantly looping around, and I was losing sleep. It was hard for me to sleep a lot of nights. There was just a lot of stress around that relationship, around that experience for me. And there was also very exciting times and lovely experiences, but those dark times really took me down. And that confusion, that stuff that being connected to him was stirring up within me, was conjuring a lot of the dark energy within me. So I could have used it if I had the awareness. There's no regrets. If I had that awareness to go deep into healing then. And the thing that is a little bit weird or suspicious or what was that I was working with a healer then. I was calling my healer a lot. I was having a lot of sessions, not tons, which maybe I needed weekly sessions or every other week or whatever. I don't know if she could have supported me like that. I don't know if she had the awareness of those things. And again, there's no blame. It's fine. It was part of my journey. I appreciate that. It helped me get into power, into my power. That's what that's all about. It's not about ruling over other people. It's about having command and mastery over yourself and your life. That's the core of my teachings. That's what's in my awareness more and more. That is the core of my teachings. Whatever I'm teaching about, it's all about you getting into your power. You having command and mastery over yourself and your life. And this is a part of that. That's why I'm sharing that example. Is that anger that was stirred up, that sadness that was stirred up, that helplessness that was stirred up. That's all dark energy. And then what happens is when you sit in that stew of all those lower emotions, that's when you start attracting entities from the spirit realm into your life. Because then what happens is the experience is you don't know which way is up. Like you can start being so consumed by this that you feel like you're in the twilight zone. And that's what I used to say a lot when I was with him. And then again, when I had that experience again with my parents, when I was living with them, that I kept saying, I can't figure it out. I can't make sense of it. I couldn't find my center. That's what that's designed to do. When those entities latch on to you, they're feeding off of your dark emotions, your fear. Because that's what it all comes down to. All those emotions, the anger, the sadness, the loneliness, it all links. If we take all of those, the resentment, if we take all of those emotions and we just give it one name, it's fear. We lump it into one, fear. And that's what these lower entities are feeding off of, your fear. And when they start taking hold of you, I don't want to make this sound scary because it's reversible. This is the stuff that I'm talking about these days. That's why I'm making these videos, because it became very clear to me recently of what that experience feels like and then how to pull yourself out of it. Because the idea is not to be afraid of these entities or be afraid of your darker emotions. It's to know how to navigate out of them and how to lift yourself up from them. Because you're always, not always, but as you get higher and higher in the experience of healing more and more of your stuff, you're going to have less gunk there to clear. But possibly you're going to still be triggered by this or that, or fear might come up, and then things might latch onto you, and then it's like, well, okay, let me just clear that, rather than, oh my God, let me get so freaked out that I'm having this experience. No, stay in your power, and then you get out of it. So the Twilight Zone comments, because what happens is it starts distorting reality. You start going into this paranoia state when that gets intensified. And I've had it intensified. So I know how that feels. It gets even more scarier. So if you're into conspiracy videos, Illuminati videos, and that is actually how I first started experiencing this dark energy, really consciously. Let's put it consciously, okay? Because then when we wake up and we realize what's going on here. But I remember watching a video many years ago, because I got into that stuff. I think that was 2012. So that's why I'm doing this review with my star brother of like, you see how this experience led to this experience. Like, again, the connecting the dots. And I remember watching this video years ago, and they were talking about how the elite's agenda is to put out to do these false flags, to do these certain things I need to move this a little bit because I want to, okay, there we go. So the agenda is to put out these fearful things into society. Yes, so they can come up with the solution. They problem, and then they, solution, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they're putting it out so that all this fear, this cloud of fear is created by the collective, and then these entities or lower vibration alien beings will feed off of that. The fear grows, that power, the dark grows. Well, it's the same thing so we're talking about the macro and the micro. Man, these teachings keep coming up, this macro and micro thing. I was just teaching a class last weekend, and this macro and micro teaching was coming up also. So the macro, isn't that interesting? I wonder why that is, but okay. So the macro, oh, well, I get it. So the macro is those false flags, the things that the government does to us. Fluoride in the water, pesticides on our food, 5G, all these scary, scary things. Wireless internet and infidelity. It's like all these things that they're doing to us, chemtrails, to just bring that fear, so that this dark energy can take over. And a lot of times people feel powerless in those situations because the government's doing this to us. That's the mindset. That's the giving away your power. Well, here, Spirit is saying, well, here's a teaching on the micro of how you can take back your power. This is such a good teaching. I hope you're getting it. I hope you like it. Tell me if you like it. Right? Show me some love. I love the appreciation because I don't need it. I haven't gotten it for a long time. That was my journey, one part of my journey too, to just value myself. But if you would like to appreciate me, I welcome that. If you're getting this teaching on a micro level, this is where you have the power to stay in your power. Because so many times we're focused on the stuff outside of us, these bigger picture things. And Spirit's saying, no, focus on you. That's what Spirit's always telling me. Focus on you. Stop worrying about Bob, Joe, Mary, whatever, and helping them fix their lives. That was my whole life, like helping everybody around me. Fuck that. Help you. So this is how you can help you. Don't go into that fearful state with anything. Don't go into that angry state. It's easier said than done. That's why you reach out to other people for support, for healing. You heal that stuff within you so that you're not conjuring up that dark energy within yourself and you're processing it, it's coming out and transmuting to higher frequencies. You're becoming more powerful within yourself. And then also when you're not transmitting those lower energies, those fearful energies, that dark energy, you're not attracting dark entities to you to take you down. So if you're experiencing like low energy, which is something that I have experienced through that timeline, the last 9 years, it's been on and off, mostly off, not having any energy. Why? Why is that? because the dark was taking me down, the dark within me, and then whatever entities that were coming and having a feast on the dark emotions within me. Well, I didn't know how to properly clear that. Now I understand it. Because yes, clearing the emotions is one element. There's other elements too to keep your energetic body clear. They want you to work on the first step. That's how my teachings work. It's for one step after the next step after the next step. So work on the first step, which is a big step, which will take you a while. And it's to clear out those fearful emotions, to process that darkness within you. Because that's how you transcend timelines. When you're not making the decisions from that lower frequency. Everything always comes back to us. It's all within you. You know, your emotions dictates the awareness that you have. So, you know, I had this, I think this is probably the last part, as I want to share this with you, because I just had that experience. I just came out of, you know, it's the end of June now. So I had really high weeks where I was flying, living my dreams, living in that space. So not physically have manifested yet, but you feel that energy first. So I was having some experiences. We'll just leave it at that. Some of these high experiences that were amazing of, oh my God, my life just keeps getting better and better. And these new awarenesses and these new timelines keep opening for me that I'm dreaming bigger now. Oh my God, my dreams were already big. This is getting bigger and bigger. Oh my God, I'm feeling so amazing. Wow, this is like every day I wake up feeling so amazing like this. And then I had this experience that I was watching this video. Well, I had a bunch of different experiences, so this is just one piece of it. I'm not going to share all of it because we'll be here forever. And I shared a lot in the last video. But I had this experience where I watched this video, one of those Illuminati videos, which I don't watch anymore, but I felt like watching it for whatever reason. And I think the reason was to bring me back to that dark state, for me to be like, oh my God, really? This is what I was experiencing all these years. And then to be able to then raise myself from it to say, oh, and I know how to do it now. Which is actually the same awareness that I had right before this whole thing happened, was like, oh my God, I transcended timelines. I learned how to, because in 2012, 13, 14, right before I connected with my star brother, that's what I was asking all the time. How do I get into that parallel life where I'm living the life of my dreams? I'm living large. How do I get into that life? How do I jump timelines? How do I, it's like it was like an obsession. That's how our questioning starts, and then the answers come. And that was the awareness that I had a few days ago, maybe it's a week already, of like, oh my God, I did it. I learned how to step into that parallel life where I'm living my dreams. I learned how to do it. And that's why I've been having all these experiences. That's why I feel so great. Blah, blah, blah. Then what happened was I watched this Illuminati video, which was about 5G. And it was a very scary 5G video. And I didn't notice how, I even wrote under the video, I go, wow, this guy got really dark really quick. It was really vicious energy of what he was saying about the 5G. And again, darkness came over him. And I even, again, was aware of it, so conscious of it that I even wrote under the video, wow, you got dark. You got dark real quick. And I didn't think anything else of it. I didn't realize it was stewing within me because that seed was planted. That's why it's so important what you watch, what you consume what you're eating with your mind, what you're consuming. Because sometimes I think, I'm not going to think this anymore, but sometimes I will go into judgment about myself on how I tend to protect myself from darker things. Like, one of those experiences that I've been having lately is, again, eliminating a lot of dark people from my life. And again, we do this in layers, but this has been a lot of neighbors I have just been ignoring or saying hi and keep walking, even if they try to pull me in, because that's an energy vampire thing. And I see a lot of the same people at the park who are terribly annoying and energy vampires, very negative. Lots of complainers in my area, lots of gossipers in this area that I live. And one of the things that was very much in my awareness of like, wow, I have been letting people drain my energy my whole life. My whole life, I have been letting people really abuse me in this manner. And then when we allow it, we abuse ourselves. So I've been taking back my power from that. So sometimes, and this was even happening recently since I was doing so much elimination of people, that I really don't talk to anybody around here anymore. And I was feeling bad about it. I was going into that. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe something's wrong with me, that maybe it's me, not them. These old thoughts, this old programming. That is, the idea is to isolate yourself and only surround yourself, to really be a ninja about it, and to only surround yourself with the highest light. Not people who make you feel bad at all. And I've been blocking people like crazy on Facebook. Because if you rub me wrong, no, I'm not. I have zero tolerance of that these days. But I still had some like lingering stuff that I was like feeling like a little bit bad about it, or wrong, or too harsh. And even with stuff that I stopped watching a lot of stuff. Like I stopped watching those Illuminati videos completely. I stopped reading stuff about it. Maybe once in a blue something will pass and I'll like kind of watch it, but no more. I don't watch anything violent on TV or movies. I just turn it off. And I was thinking, that was me getting into judgment. I was thinking, Blaire, you're really living like this pristine something, like you should just kind of lighten up type of thing. I was, again, that's that negative. But now I understand it more of like, no, that was right. That was good that I was doing that. So anyway, back to the 5G. I watched that video. And in the neighborhood where I live, we already have 5G. And that put me into this really dark, scared. I was in this state of terror, being afraid of, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? And it was this sadness and just this complete disempowerment that I just went to basically in an instant, that I spiraled into this fear. Because I know the experiences that I've had in the past with dealing with those conspiracy videos and the negativity that drew around me, and then the experiences that I had with my parents. And I was still watching the conspiracy videos then. So that was double negative stuff going on. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to go back there. There was just like so much this fear. So it was like, oh my God, my life is getting better now. I'm transcending the timelines. And there was this fear, this terror of, oh no, I don't want to go back. I don't want to get sucked back into that. So that is what came into my awareness. And then what happened? Well, so I think that's probably enough with that story. But I was able to pull myself out of it. It took a couple of days to really get that energy off of it. But it brought me back to the memories of how I felt, you feel like you're gonna die. Like that's how it felt, like there was this like just such heavy energy hovering around me, because that's that darkness that came, that fear that came up within me, that then instantly darker, negative, lower energies start feeding on it. And they grow bigger because they're having that feast. They're getting all this power off of your fear. And the more light that you carry, so all these years I've been building up my light because I've been healing myself of all this darkness. Well, in an instant, all my light had, not all my light, that's too much to say, but a lot, my light, some of my light, a lot of my light had turned to darkness because all this fear was consuming. Because then I had fears about, I'm not happy where I live, I don't like my neighbors, I don't like this, I don't like that. And it was all this shitstorm of things that I'm shifting. I've been shifting now. You know, that I have been in the process of shifting. And I was in a state of peace and flow in it. But that one video flipped it for me. And it snowballed with all the other things that were bothering me, that I didn't realize were bothering me so much, that I had to just basically take a huge dump. I had to dump it all. I had to do the energy work that I'm doing now, the deeper understanding of it, to clear that dark energy and clear it fast. I didn't clear it as fast as I would like to, but I'm learning new skills. So it took me a couple of days. And I would say that I'm still sort of wiggling out of it. It still feels like there's still a little bit of this fear around of, basically it's like, is it gonna come back? Is my life gonna tumble and surprise me and scare me again on some of the dives that it took in the, like, again, the past, being haunted by that past. So I'm still weaving myself out of that. But that was a very good, even though it was a bad experience, that was a very good experience for me to have a sort of flash from a blast from the past, which it wasn't I mean, it was a blast, boom, but not blast as in yay. It was a shock to the system, but it was good for me because then I realized, wow, that's what I went through then, and that's when I went through then, and that's why I was stuck in whatever for so long, that shit storm. So your life doesn't have to go from being great to being shit. You know, this links back to that video that I made that is, are you stuck in a parallel life that is not yours? Are you stuck in a life that's not what you want or what you think, or I forgot what it was titled. But this video ties into that. It's not like out of nowhere your life can flip from great, wonderful, high on life to low down in the gutter. There are steps and signposts on how you got there. And I shared my stories through this video to bring awareness for you, so that you don't have to do the up and down and up and down. You don't have to do that. You don't have to dance with the dark anymore. On that note, I will say thank you for joining me. I love you guys, and I wish you the best in life. And I think my saying is, I wish you the best in love and life. Signing off. Loveguru.net. Bye-bye.